So here in Cornish, this wall used to be a door. I remember selling the door about 10 years ago. They've now replaced the door, and so on the inside we're going to be sticking this 1x6 paneling. They come in bundles of 36 lineal feet. Okay, there's an 8-footer, and the rest are shorter. But they've got butt joints. It's all finished. And this is the opening. It's what, 6 foot?
Yeah, 6 foot 2.5 roughly by 6 foot 10.5. Get that somewhat level.
So you just got to face nail the bottom one, and then you can do it in the grooves going up.
Yeah, and face nail the bottoms and the sides, ends, because that's going to be covered with trim that we put on, and you nail it through the tongue on the rest of it. All right, so we'll come to this end. I would go 11.5 inches.
So Scott's in there yelling dimensions out to me because he's putting it up and I'm out here cutting it. When he's starting a line, he wants this tongue to fall on a stud. And so when he's starting a row, I'm measuring from here and cutting. That's what the measurements he's giving me is to the middle of the stud. When we're finishing a row, you don't want the tongue end. He's measuring from the butt end, the groove end. And so, like I just finished a row, he said 47.5, and so that was the end of it. So I measured 47.5 from here, and then this next row, he'll give me a dimension, and I'll start from the other end.
Here on the thing, so I just take the chisel
And then pull it down and
pull it down, make sure she's in tight, and let her have it.
We almost made it without having to rip the last one, but we're gonna have to rip the last one, so we'll see how this goes. I've got my length cut. Now we're just gonna let her rip, pardon the pun. Just ripped. And we just ripped another one to stick it in. This is the last course. And then it'll get covered with trim. So 1x5 is going to come out to what? The line you just drew on the whatwood?
Yeah, it'll come from, it'll go over to here.
And then it'll cover the nails
We
in
only
it.
got a data welt like an inch.
Right.
A quarter, take a, it's like 5/16, we got a data welt. And that will sit right on over.
Clever. So when he's hauling out lengths where I said we're trying to hit studs. These are all 15 on, the stud there, 15 more inches, 15 more inches, and then 15 more inches. But then you want to stagger the seams so it doesn't all just match up, a bunch of seams in one spot. There was one spot down here where we did not hit a stud. We're just curious if we could have a tongue hanging out between studs, and I think it would have been all set, but we just ended up aiming for studs the rest of the way. So if you remember looking around the edge, there's some rough stuff going on between where this pine stops and where the sheetrock starts. Scott's in there now doing some fancy smancy dado planing. We're gonna head back to the lumberyard in a couple minutes and go grab some Also from Robbins Lumber, primed deselect and better pine, which we're then gonna massacre on a table saw and bring back and stick it up as trim. So we've been at the shop. After some table saw work, that would probably make a safety inspector quiver in his boots as far as fingers being near blades and whatnot. These pieces are the trim. There's one inside already, but these are what's going over and around the paneling we just done. We cut something in here, and then we have to cut here too to get rid of this piece here. But this should go up slick. So looking at it from the top, this is the one that we just installed here. This is what we were doing over at the lumberyard. We dado this out and left room for the pine, and this is up against the sheetrock. You can see where the paint stopped, where the old door was. What he was just cutting a minute ago was he had to cut a little bit more off this so it would slide up under the old mop board, which is what he's doing now for that side.